I recommend a sport yarn, but of course you can use whatever yarn you want. I will be using Alize Cotton Gold 83, 149, 216, and 694. You'll be needing tape measure, of course, a bunch of stitch markers, a crochet hook that matches your yarn. I am using a 3mm one, a tapestry needle, and scissors. If you are making this top for yourself, I will show you what you need to measure. Same thing if you are doing for someone, you can take the measurements of. If you are making it for someone that you only know their size, that's no problem at all. I have a size chart. So let's get started. I'm just holding my tail yarn behind the hook and twisting once. Then I separate them and boom. I need to be chaining up to 7.5 centimeters. I'm going to stop and measure. Let's see. Whoa, it's way too much. Just unravel a few. Boom, boom. Let's see now. Yeah, but this is going to be fine because this last one I won't be using. This will be my turning chain. And if I measure like this, it's right there where it's supposed to. If your measurement is exact, then you just chain one in addition. Once you have the desired length for your chain, you will be turning your work like this and working on those bumps. So not on those V's, but on those bumps. The stitch we'll be doing is called half double crochet slip stitch or yarn over slip stitch. So just turn our work like this, as I was saying, yarn over, skip this first bump, into the second one, we insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and we have 3 loops on our hook. And this third loop, we're just gonna twist the crochet and pull it through the other 2 loops. And this is a half double crochet slip stitch. Let's do that again. In the next little bump. Now, do this until the end of the row and I will meet you back. That was my cat moose. Here I am at the end of the row and I want to make sure that I still have those 7.5 centimeters that I need. It's just 7, but it's fine because this is very, very stretchy. And yeah, if I'll need it, I'll have them, right? So if I stretch it, it's like 9 centimeter, and that's just fine. Now that I've stretched it, it is up to 7.5. It's fine. Just make sure the difference isn't more than half a centimeter. Moving on to the next row. So we're gonna be chaining 1 and turning here. And we're gonna work a half double crochet slip stitch in each of the back loops, the back loops only. Each stitch has 2 loops. A back loop that's further away from you, and a front loop that's closer to you. And we will be working our half double crochet slip stitch in these back loops only that are further away from you. You're gonna skip this chain, obviously, and work in the back loop of the first stitch. Don't forget to twist your crochet like this so that you can pull the third loop through, because if you try to do it like this, it's really difficult. So just twist it and pull. This will make it super easy to do. I will meet you at the end of row 2 here. Here we are at the end of row 2. I have worked 1 half double crochet slip stitch into each stitch. And this is very important, count your stitches. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15 stitches. This is the exact number of stitches that I'm going to have on this other side. You'll see what I mean in a second. So once you reach the end of row 2, in this chain 1 that you did to turn, you will be working 3 half double crochet slip stitches. It's going to be a little tricky to get in there. So 1, 2, and 3. And in the second one, we will be inserting our stitch marker. Please don't skip this step, it's really important. And we're gonna go through both loops here, and this is the initial chain. Keep doing this until the end of the row, and I will meet you here. And this is what it looks like on the front, and this is what it looks like on the back. So from now on, we will be working back and forth like this until our cup is ready. So we're going to do one more row together, and then that row you will be repeating until you have your cup size. So let's chain 1. We're always going to be chaining 1 and turning. And we won't be working in that chain 1 that we just did. So let's do 1 half double crochet slip stitch into each back loop until we reach the stitch marker. Let's do a few stitches together. 3, 4, and 5. And I will meet you here. Here we are. I have reached my stitch marker. I will remove it now. Bye-bye for now, sweetie. In the back loop only, we will be working 3 half double crochet slip stitches. So after we have our 3 half double crochet slip stitches, we pick up the stitch marker once more and we place it into this second stitch we did. Welcome back, sweetie. And we continue until the end of the row with half double crochet slip stitches in back loop only. Here it is. So this is the end of row 3. We will consider this one the front. And what we're going to do from now on is simply chaining 1, turning. We're going to work 1 half double crochet slip stitch until we reach the stitch marker. Remove it, work 3 stitches in this one, place it in that second stitch, and then working on this other side, 1 half double crochet slip stitch into each stitch, and chaining 1 again and turning, and keep working like this in an arch until we have our desired cup size. Okay, I have finished my cup size. I have here 16 rows. And now from this stitch marker on top here, for all sizes, we're going to be counting 11 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So in the 11th stitch, place a stitch marker. Chain 1, turn, and we're going to work 1 half double crochet slip stitch until that stitch marker. Okay, keep doing that and I'll meet you there. I have stopped at the stitch marker and I will be chaining 1, so don't work into that stitch. Chain 1, turn, and we're going to be skipping this first stitch here and working 1 half double crochet slip stitch until the end of the row. So we're going to skip the chain we just did, this stitch, and work from the next one on. Okay, I'll meet you here. Here I am at the end of the row, and I'm going to be chaining one and turning. And what I failed to mention before was that after doing your first half double crochet slip stitch of this row, you should have placed a stitch marker in that very first stitch. I mean, I know how to identify it, but if you are unsure or a beginner, please don't fail to place that stitch marker right there. So now we're going to be turning our work, and we're going to do a half double crochet slip stitch all the way up to those last 3 stitches, and I will show you what we're going to do with these. I'll meet you there. So I have moved my stitch marker here just to show you guys what I should have done. I have these last 3 stitches unworked. So now we're going to do a single crochet 3 together slip stitch. And this is what this looks like. We're not going to be yarning over. We're just going to go through the entire stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop once. In the second one, the same thing, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now I'm going to remove my stitch marker here. And again, insert into this last stitch, yarn over, pull the loop. And this 4th loop, we're going to bring it through the other 3, like this. Chain 1 and turn. We're going to be skipping this stitch for the next row, the first one, and work 1 half double crochet, slip stitch until the end of the row. Once you have made the first stitch of this next row, don't forget to place your stitch marker in there. Okay, why is this so difficult? Okay. Boom. So always place your stitch marker at the beginning of each row into that very first stitch. And now we're going to work 1 half double crochet slip stitch until the end of the row, and I'll meet you there. I'm at the end of the row. I'm going to be chaining 1 and turning. And what we're going to do from now on until we have only 10 stitches left here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On the row up, we're going to be doing that single crochet 3 together slip stitch I have showed you previously. And when we turn, we chain 1 and we skip the first stitch and work a regular stitch until the end of the row. And we do that until we have 10 stitches left in the row. Okay, I have finished my decreasing here, and I am left with 10 stitches. Once I reach this point, I just have to work those 10 stitches until I reach a certain length. Let's do 1 row together. chain 1 and turn. Okay guys, I have reached my desired length here, and it's time for some holes. Chain 1, turn, and we're gonna do 2 half double crochet slip stitches in the next 2 stitches, chain 1, skip 1, do 2 more half double crochet slip stitches in the next 2 stitches, chain 1, skip 1, and into that last one we're gonna do a half double crochet slip stitch once more. Okay, that's too big. Chain 1. Now what we're gonna do is a single crochet edge, so single crochet on top of each of these rows and in each stitch around, and we need to do that on the front, and this for me is the back here. This is the front with this middle guy here. So if this is my back, I'm going to have to turn. However, if this is your front, you're gonna go like this all the way around. But if you are like me on your back, then you're gonna have to turn and work the other way. One and two. Why are those stitches so tight? What did I do here? What did I do? Come on. 1 and 2, and into that chain 1 and 2. I have worked so tightly, I don't know why. So once you are done with this little edge, you're gonna go ahead and place one more here. When turning, you're gonna have 2 single crochets in those corners. And then what I like to do is place a single crochet in each of these. So this loop here, the one next to it, this one, and the one next to it. So let me show you. And a closer look here and here. Here and here. You keep going like this. You're gonna have, of course, in this corner here, 2 singles. And then when you reach this part with the decreases, it's just the same. You're gonna do 1 here and 1 here, 1 here and 1 here. And I will meet you back where we started, which is right here. 2 single crochets for the corner, and I'm going to slip stitch in this very first single crochet of the row, chain 1, and cut the yarn. Okay guys, so now you're gonna make one that's just the same as this one in your desired color. Let's move on to the next part of our tutorial. Set these 2 guys aside. Grab your other color and do a slip knot and chain the length that you want your top to be. So for me, without stretching, is 12 centimeters. And what you're gonna do is twist or turn the work like this, as I showed you before, and skip the first bump here into the second bump, do a half double crochet slip stitch. I don't know why the yarn and the crochet aren't listening to me. So you do this until the end of the row in those bumps. All the way here. I'll meet you right there. I have reached the end of my row, and what I wanted to show you was that you'll need to count your rows from one of your cups. I was just trying something here, ignore that. This is one row and this is another. So one row will look like this, the other will look like this. I have counted mine, like starting here, not this edge, you don't count this edge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on. And I have 51 rows. And I'm going to have 51 rows of these. So once you reach the end of your row, you will chain 1, turn, and do 1 half double crochet slip stitch in back loop only in each stitch across. And you will be doing this for 51 rows in my case, or however many rows you have for your project. And I will meet you right there. So here we are. I made a lot more than just 51 rows, as I said. And here's how you can check that you have the exact same amount of rows as for the cup and this part of the cup. I worked a lot tighter here, and this might also happen to you, to work looser or tighter. Make these two here coincide, this and this, because this is the single crochet edge, which we will also have here. I'm ignoring that, so I'm starting here. This row with this row, this row with this row. And I'm going to place a stitch marker here. On both sides. And then I will make sure that I have one of these with one of these. So I'm checking that along. I have to just enlarge this a little because, again, I worked way too tightly, but the rows still need to coincide. Row on top of row. Until I reach this. So here is where it should end. So we have this extra row where we place those holes that we're gonna have to have here as well. And then we're gonna do the single crochet edge. And after we're done with that, we will do another piece just like this one in the fourth color. After chaining 2, we will skip this first stitch and do a half double crochet slip stitch in the back loop only in the next stitch. And in the next one, chain 1, skip 1, and again 2 half double crochet slip stitches in the next. I'm always having trouble after chaining 1. I have reached the end of the row, and depending on the number of stitches you have, you will or will not have a hole here. I have 2 stitches left. I'm going to skip this one and half double crochet slip stitch in the back loop only in the last one. Chain 1. Now we have to make the edge. So here's how I determine whether I will chain 1 and turn to do the edge this way or continue with the edge this way. As you can see, this is the front of my cup, and those V-stitches are upside down. And I want a continuation here, and I want my V-stitches to be upside down as well. If I turn my work, you see there are regular V-stitches. This will be for me the back, and this with the upside down stitches will be my front. And if I have ended here, I will have to chain 1, turn, and do my single crochet edge this way. And don't forget that rule about doing 2 single crochets in each of the 4 corners. I will be chaining 1. I already did. and turning. Let me move this aside. Okay, so single crochet in this last stitch here of the previous row, single crochet in this hole here, 2 single crochets in those stitches, a single crochet in this chain 1 space. Okay, one more thing that I have to show you. Before reaching the end of the row, there's one more thing I need to show you. On this other side that we didn't have with the cup, things are a little bit different, and we will be placing the single crochets here and here in these 2 loops. So there and there, there and there. Let me show you. Here we are, almost at the end of the row, doing 1 more single crochet here, and I'm going to slip stitch in this first single crochet, chain 1, and cut the yarn. Now we're going to have to do the same thing in the 4th color, which for me is orange. Again, making sure that we're going to place this other cup with the face up. And as you can see here, for this one, the stitches are normal, not upside down like they were for this one. So for the other color, we will make sure that the single crochet edge is done on the front, which means like this, with the stitches looking normally. All right, moving on to the straps. I have made the orange part as well. For the straps, you're gonna have to identify this middle stitch here. Place a stitch marker in there. So we're gonna attach the yarn in the 2nd stitch from the marker. Chain 1, do 1/2 double crochet into that stitch, 1/2 double crochet in the next, one-half double crochet in the stitch with the stitch marker, and 2 more in the following 2 stitches. So 1/2 double, 2. So this way we're going to have 5 half double crochets, right? Chain 1 and turn. Do 1/2 double crochet in each of those 5 stitches. Chain 1, turn. And you're gonna keep doing this until you reach your desired length. So for me, I will be doing a 70 centimeters long strap, but you can choose to make yourself a shorter or a longer one. I have finished the straps, both of them, and I have made 100 half double crochet rows for each. My advice is to place a stitch marker every 10 rows so you can easily keep track of how many rows you have made. The other thing is this little thingy here that we're gonna need to place on the back of the top. And I have made 150 chains here. And I want to continue making 150 more with this other color. Again, I have placed a stitch marker every 50 chains to not have to count endlessly. So now in this last chain, I will attach my other color and continue chaining 150 times. And done. And now I have this long string with 2 colors of right chain. So this would be the point where I would weave in all my ends before getting to the actual assembly of the top. This is the thread that I started with, and I already hid it while I was working the single crochet edge so that I can just cut right off. And we have this one here, the ending thread. Let's weave that one in. Hide it under some stitches here. Okay, let's just take it 2 at a time. And what I would do to make sure it stays right, I just go back a little, like in this little stitch here, and then continue through 2 or 3 other stitches, making sure on this side there's not a lot of thread that can be seen. Everything is looking good. And again, I will go back here and continue with a few other stitches. And once more. Now we'll go on this side. Let's see. I don't like how that looks. All right. And again, a little backwards and now let's go back. This already is completely unnecessary what I'm doing. I just want to make absolutely sure that the thread doesn't go anywhere. I mean, 2 or 3 of these would have sufficed, but yeah, I am overdoing it basically. After stretching it a little, okay, all looking good. All right, now I can cut this one as well. And boom. Yeah, so this is basically what you have to do with each part, weaving all the ends, and I'll meet you back for the assembly. Here we are, guys, at the assembly part. The first thing we're gonna do is place a stitch marker at the beginning and at the end of the two pieces we need to sew together. So let's do that. We're gonna start on the edge here. And we're gonna end. Again, grab the two parts and go on the edge. First thing. The second thing will be to measure thread. So about, I'd say, 1.5 times the length that you need to sew. And then you cut it to that desired length. And of course, use the tapestry needle here. And once you have that on your needle, you will then flip the side so you can be on the wrong side for both of these. Make those two stitches match here. You can remove the stitch marker now, that you have a clear vision where the first stitch is going to be. So go through both the loops on both sides. Like that. And then go through both of them again to secure. And again. And now if you pull it tight, it won't run away from you anymore. All right, let me get closer here. So what we're going to use is called the mattress stitch. So we're going to use the back loops of the stitches for both sides. So let's go into this first back loop here. And then from the inside, so starting on this side, from the inside out, we're gonna go through the back loop of this other part. Back loop again from the inside out on the other side, and so on. I feel like I could have used a bit more thread here. So 1.5 and a little maybe. All right, let's remove the stitch marker. So I will just go in here and just pull it tight. And yeah, that should do it. This is the end result. I have sewn these two together. And I have sewn these two together with the cup yarn color. And now we have to sew these together, here and here. And I will use one of these colors for this part, and I will use this for this part. Make them fit like this, and I will go in and sew this part first. And I think I will go up 9 or 10 stitches, but this will depend a lot on your cup size and your body shape. So just place a stitch marker here and just test it on yourself. And then with the mattress stitch, do as before. And then from here to the back here. From here to the back here. Until the end. I will place the new thread on top. Come on. It just won't cooperate with me. We have the knot and we just pull tight. Cut the yarn. And I will measure not 1.5 the length of the that I have to sew, but twice to make sure I have enough thread. And with this thread I will sew this part, and I'll meet you back for the assembly here. One quick tip: once you reach this part and you have secured it, don't cut this yarn or weave it, just leave it there to finish the whole assembly and try the top one and make sure that this fits you right. Okay guys, this is it. My cat Musi approves it. I just put it on and it's super cute. And I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please don't forget to press that like button, the subscribe one as well, and the notification bell so you can follow along with my videos and tutorials as I upload them. Say goodbye, Moose. Bye.